it's something I struggle with myself of how to engage ritual in my own life in a fruitful way. I know when I first worked with Malidoma, the reason I sort of stepped away from that work and the reason, I think the last time I saw him was 2014. And so I hadn't seen him for, a good 7 years before he passed, was I engaged in a lot of that work. And although when I first introduced it was first, first was introduced to it, I had some very profound effects from the rituals he put us through.
Mm,
The more deeply I got involved with it and the more I brought it into my own life as something I was trying to cultivate, everything felt empty. It felt made up. It felt
mm.
fake. It felt I wasn't really getting responses that seemed to mean anything.
Wow.
And so I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm doing this wrong or 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 if it's not for me or what. So I that was sort of my reason for stepping away from it. And only recently in the past few months maybe have I started feeling a call to return to it, and in very small ways, very, very small ways, little offerings of ash to the ancestors, a little bit of water to the ancestors. And I have to credit my sister for that. She's studying with a student of Malidoma's and has been engaged in that work more directly than I think I ever was, because she's been working with this person for a while, a few years now, I think, kind of directly. And I'm very happy for her. And she's sort of helped bring that back to life for me,
Mm.
um, such that I can engage with it in small ways and kind of feel like I'm not on my own, wandering in the forest by myself, trying to make sure I don't get eaten by a bear. Like at least I have some sort of thread connecting me. Yeah.
Do you think that's some of the reason? I don't know how much you want to get into your experience, but that you were trying to do it alone. It wasn't in a community or something. That's why it wasn't working, wasn't resonating.
It could be actually. That's a very insightful question. I met Malidoma when I was still living in New York. This would have been 2010, and my interactions with him partially fueled my move out to the West Coast. So
Mm,
that was sort of he was an influence on that particular move. And when I came out here to the Pacific Northwest, I found a group of people who were already beginning to engage in his teachings. One of them, I won't name any of them because I don't know if they're well. You'll see. I won't name them for reasons that will become clear.
mm,
But one of them had trained with Malidoma and gone. He had like a 2 year training that he would run people through to help them be able to run rituals. And it was something I always wanted to take, but I also it never felt like the right time to do it. So that never happened for me. But I had a friend who had gone through that training and was trying to develop some sense of a community out here. And so for me to come out here and find them just as they're starting, I was like, oh, what a nice coincidence. This is great. It's got this whole thing here to meet me. And we built a community, very small. Um, we had a little bit of a mailing list that we would send stuff to. We brought Malidoma out, I want to say 3 or 4, maybe 5 times to do divinations out here, give talks, hold ritual. We organized the people to work with him, and he would come out and do his thing, do his shaman thing, and create the space. And it was really great. But that community kind of fell apart. I think it was a lot of energy to hold, and I don't think that we all quite knew what we were getting into when we started it. And then by the time it started, generating energy and starting to grow, it was like, oh my God, this is a little overwhelming. I'm not ready for this. And the main guy that had been holding the connection to Malidoma was like, I can't keep holding this. I got to step back. And then everything we kind of carried on a little bit after that, but without anybody having that direct instruction and sort of initiation into the teachings of community, of ritual,
mm.
it sort of fell apart. And I think there was something about that group that like our energy was very cohesive. And then once pieces started sort of falling away, I think the whole thing couldn't maintain itself.
Mm.
So that would line up with the space between when I was following it and then when it sort of dropped away from me would be the time when that community kind of fell apart.
Hmm.
There is a center in upstate New York, the East Coast Village. It's still active, so people can check out their website. I think it's eastcoastvillage.org. But if you just type in East Coast Village, they'll be able to find it. And they still hold some events up there. That's kind of a central hub for some of the work and the people involved in that work. But it's in upstate New York. It was hard enough for me to get up there when I lived in Brooklyn. Living out here, it's a plane ride and a car drive. And so as much as I could go out and partake, and I did go out for a few events, it was difficult to call that my community. And
Hmm.
so especially when I had the community here in the Northwest. So when the community here kind of fell apart, I wasn't going to be flying back and forth to the East Coast regularly enough for that to count. And
Hmm.
and yeah, it did kind of fall apart. So yeah, thank you. I hadn't really put those two, aligned those two things in that way, but I do think that was something that influenced the falling away of that element of my practice. Yeah.